And we are live. What's going on, people? What's going on? Today, we're going to be talking about how society can stop the single mother epidemic. All right, that's what we're going to be talking about today. I'm sorry for not giving you guys more of a warning as to when I was going to go live. That's my fault, my bad. Unfortunately, that's life. Things do happen. Um, I will make sure it doesn't happen again. I give you guys plenty of warning as to when I'm going to be coming on live so that we can interact as a community and and get to these solutions, because that's what we're here for, guys. We are here to get to these solutions so we can sort out society. Society is not looking good for the future, and we are here to try to change that. So today we're going to be talking about how society can stop the single mother epidemic, because we have a single mother epidemic, and if it's not an epidemic now, it is definitely going to become one, because things are getting worse, not better. I repeat, things are getting worse, not better, and it will become um I think one of the worst epidemics that we've had in human history, because of the destruction that single mother homes cause to children, causes to the society, to the future, to everything, you know. And we're going to be reacting to, you know, the harmful effects of single motherhood on society, on children, and therefore on society in large. So yeah. Now, first of all, I would like to talk about the dangers of single motherhood, the dangers to children, how dangerous it is to children. And I've got something just hold on a second. I've got something to read out here, something to react to that I'm going to be sharing with you guys right now. So just bear with me for a moment, please, guys. Let me share this so you can see my screen. All right, all right. Okay, listen, guys. I don't think it's a secret when I say single mother households are not good for children. I don't think this is even something to be, argued about or disputed about, to be honest with you. I think we all know by now that mother households, it's not good for children. It's not the perfect environment for children. It's not a good environment for children. The perfect environment for children would be two-parent household. All right, mother, father, married in a two-parent household. That's the perfect environment to raise a child in. That is the perfect environment to raise a child in. So why are we not aiming for that if we care about children, if we care about society? I don't know. But just to emphasize my point here, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna look at this. I mean, you can go on Google and just Google anything. Everything pretty much says the same thing when it comes to how detrimental single parent households are to children. All right. Okay, so we've got this article here online. What are the effects on children of single parents? All right. Now, I missed it. Where was it? What happened to it? All right. According to Amateur's research, sociologists warn that many children of single parents are born into undesirable circumstances. These children have a higher likelihood of being poor, committing crimes, or using drugs. Many sociologists agree that childhood adverse effects outlive youth. That's very true. Now, we can see here, look what it's saying. Children that are born in single parent households basically have a higher likelihood of being poor, of committing crimes, or using drugs. Okay, um, and this is a fact. This is a fact. We can see it. You know, you don't need studies to know that this is what's going on. All right, 98% or 90% of the of prison inmates come from single mother households. So we can see that there's a direct correlation there between single mother households and what do you call it, single mother households and and these problems that children face. Now, I mean, seriously, like this is this is obvious, and I don't like talking about the obvious. I don't like talking about what people already know as to be the truth. All right, because this is a fact, and everyone knows it. What I really um, want to talk about is why we're in this situation and what can be done to stop this situation for good. So now that we've established a single parent household um, are detrimental to children, it has a negative impact on children's lives. Now that we've established that this is a fact, um, you know, let's find out, why did this come about in the first place? Why did this come about in the first place? Remember, the 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 best environment for a child to raise a child in is a two-parent household. That's the best environment because that is what gives the best, you know, outcome that, for a child to be successful and so on and so forth. So, how did we get here? Why do we have a single mother epidemic? All right. Things have happened. Things have happened that has led to us having a single mother epidemic. Certain laws were put in place that has allowed us this single mother epidemic to, to happen. For example, the pill, the abortion laws, government housing. These things have contributed to the single mother epidemic that we currently have in society today. This is a fact. So when I say the pill and abortion laws, women have become more promiscuous. Okay, and the pill because the pill is available, because the abortion laws are available, women have become more promiscuous. And when I say that, they are engaging in promiscuous behavior, and therefore, under the idea that, if they do get pregnant, they can just, kill the child. All right. So they have become more promiscuous. And what the government did, all right, after legalizing these things, you know, they said, after legalizing it and normalizing it, they normalized it by, through the sexual revolution, by saying, it's sexual empowerment and, to engage in promiscuity. After all of that, they said, you know what? Because they anticipated, they knew what would happen. If you're having loads of women behaving in a promiscuous way, what's going to happen? What do you think will happen if you had loads of women engaging in promiscuous behavior? What do you think will happen? What's going to happen is they are going to, let me stop sharing this. People are going to get pregnant. That's just the fact. People are going to get pregnant if they are engaging in promiscuous sex, in promiscuous behavior. And the government knew that not every single woman was going to abort their children. So what do you do to counteract that? You give them houses. You house them. You pay them. I think it was Lyndon B. Johnson in 1960. Is it 1960 or 1970s? Around that, was it 1980s? Around that time, anyway. You know, I think was what was the project called? The Great Society or something like that. Where basically he said it's okay. Don't worry about getting pregnant. As long as there's no men in the home, we will house you. So at they literally took accountability from women when you look at it at every level. You know, women could be promiscuous and kill their children. And if they didn't want to kill their children, guess what they can do? They can get benefits. They can get housed. This is literally what created the single mother epidemic that we currently have now. You see, getting pregnant is called it's accountability. It's in a way, it's God's way of holding the person accountable for what they have done. And if you don't have a husband, if you don't have a proper stable home to bring a child in, that's going to be a problem. So what the government was doing was taking anything that might hold a woman accountable for her actions. So if she wanted to be promiscuous, guess what? She's got several options in front of her. She can kill the child. She can take the pill so she can try and avoid getting pregnant in the first place. If that doesn't work, the next option is to murder the child. If murdering the child doesn't work, guess what? The government can house you. The government can house you. If taking the pill doesn't work, if killing the child doesn't work, the government came up with a whole new proposal. They said, you know, if that doesn't work and you want it, you don't want to kill the child, you don't want to do all of that for abortion. Okay, fine. We will house you. And we will pay you, you know. And this is how the single mother epidemic came about. This is why we have a single mother culture today, which is hurting a lot of children's lives, which is destroying the next generation. Imagine today. I just want you guys to imagine with me for 1 second, right? Just imagine, just picture it in your head. Imagine if the government said, you know what? Not allowed to have any more abortions. It's no longer legal to have an abortion. It's it's no longer legal to take the pill. If you get pregnant, you're gonna have there's no housing. There's no housing. If you get pregnant, we won't house you. We will not give you benefits. None of that is gonna happen. Imagine if the government said that. Imagine if the government said, you know what? Abortion is illegal, pill is illegal, contraceptives are illegal, housing a woman after she, had a baby out of wedlock, paying them benefits. No. Imagine if the government said no to all of that. This single mother culture that we currently have today would disappear. It would literally disappear. It wouldn't exist anymore. It would disappear overnight. Women would start thinking twice before they engage in sexual activity, because they would understand that sex is more than just than just an act, a pleasurable act. There's real life consequences that come with sex, like a child, like a newborn baby, like a new life. Yeah, that's what would happen. Imagine if the government just said that. We would have families again. But is the government going to do that? No, because they didn't put these laws in there for no reason. There was a reason why they put these laws in there. The reason was always to destroy the family unit. That was always the main reason why the government put these laws in there. Why the government legalized abortion, the pill, and told women that even if you get pregnant, we can house you and we can, give you benefits, give you money and so on and so forth. There's a reason why they did it. But that doesn't change the fact that if the government was to make all of these things illegal, abortion illegal, the pill illegal, if the government was to do that, I'm telling you right now, we wouldn't have the single mother culture. This single mother culture would literally disappear overnight. You see, guys, I'm only interested in finding solutions. This is why this podcast is called the Solution Podcast. I'm here to find a solution. Now think about that. The government knows that if they do this, they can put a stop to all these problems that we have in society. You know, the knife crime? Knife crime is primarily to do with broken homes. That's what knife crime is primarily to do with, is broken homes. 90% of prison inmates come from single parent households because they create emotional men, and emotional men are very dangerous men. You could solve knife crime right now. All you have to do is make abortion illegal. All you have to do is make the pill illegal. That's all you have to do. You can end all these issues, all these problems, all the problems that the Black community is facing right now. We could end it. It would end overnight. I'm telling you guys. Imagine the government saying no more housing, no more money. Do you think these women will be walking around here with mini skirts trying to get sexual attention from men? Sorry, trying to use their sexuality in order to get attention from men. Do you think most of these women will be out here doing that? No, they would be thinking twice about who they open their legs to. Why? Because of the consequences. How is she going to raise the child if there is no man there to help out? Where is she going to raise the child in? Where are they going to live? She would have to think about that. But the modern woman doesn't have to think about any of that, because guess what? The government is there to save the day. And that's the issue. That's the problem. This is what we are facing. This is the real issue. Okay? Now, yes. Is the government going to stop? No. is abortion, will abortion ever become illegal? No, it won't. It won't. Christians will forever fight against this human sacrifice practice. I call it it's a psychological way to prepare humans to accept child sacrifice. That's what abortion really is. All right. Child sacrifice is practiced in the occult, and this is abortion is just a way, a psychological way to get you to prepare you for one day accepting child sacrifice, which will happen soon. Which will happen soon. The world is being molded to accept Satanism, to accept the occult, to accept their beliefs, but they have to do it in because the West has been Christian for so long. They have to, they have to psychologically prepare you, and psychologically brainwash you to kind of accept certain ideologies, or not to see them as something bad. You know, that's how they prepare you. And that's what's going on, guys. That's what's going on. So is it going to change? No, it's never going to change. It's not going to change. They're not gonna make abortion illegal. They're not gonna stop housing women who have sex, who have babies outside of wedlock. They're not gonna do that. So how do we fight against it? How do we fight against it? Well, one way is not to engage with it. It's not to engage in promiscuous behavior. That's one way of doing it. That's one way of stopping it. Is for us to stop engaging in promiscuous behavior. Because believe you me, this is an agenda, guys. Make no mistake, this is an agenda. This is not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence that they legalized murdering children in the womb. It's not a coincidence. Look, it's not a coincidence. First, they legalized the pill. Why would you legalize the pill? What's the pill for? It's a contraceptive. It's to stop the woman from getting pregnant. Why? It literally stops the woman from getting pregnant. It literally stops the woman from being held accountable, because they want you to focus on the pleasure side of sex, not on the responsibility side of sex. That's what the contraceptive is there for. It's to stop the woman from dealing with the reality of sex, which is to have children. That's what the contraceptive is for. What do you think abortion is for? Basically, when that doesn't work, when the contraceptive doesn't work, because if you're living a promiscuous lifestyle and you are sexually active in a promiscuous way, you're not always going to, take the pill or whatever. No, human beings are lazy. So basically, when that fails, when the contraceptive fails, look, there's still an option. You can murder the child. Again, taking away the responsibility that comes with sex, which is a child. It's all geared to taking that accountability away, that responsibility away. You know? And then after that, they came up with the sexual revolution. They said, now that you have the pill, now that you have abortion, guess what? You can go out and do whatever you want, and you can be as promiscuous as you want. The bra OG1. What's going on, brother? Gift from God. Yeah, that's what children are, gifts from God. And they try to destroy that gift, because that gift comes with responsibility. You have to take care of it. You have to raise it. That all of that involves not being selfish. All of that involves sacrifice. So why would they want you to take contraceptives and kill your child? Why? because they don't want you to accept sacrifice. They don't want you to accept, the responsibility of unselfishly raising a child. Because raising a child is an unselfish act. It's not an act of selfishness. Having sex and then not accepting the responsibility that comes with sex, which is a child at the end, yeah, that's a selfish act because you're only dealing with the pleasure aspect of it. Raising a child is an unselfish act. That's what raising a child is. So every society is basically is leading you towards a selfish way of thinking, a self-serving way of thinking. Self-serving mentality. It's all about me, what makes me happy. It's a very selfish way of looking at life. Very narcissistic is what Alistair Crowley spoke about. Do as thy will. Do whatever you want to do. That's what people are being programmed to believe and think, and agree with, literally. The Browogy one says, don't want to have kids, don't do it. Nah, bro, I would say do it, bro. Do it. You have to have kids. Um, the reason why I know the world is messed up, bro. I know the world is messed up, and it's getting more scary and scarier to have kids in this world. But the world has never been perfect, and having kids will teach you a lot about yourself. It will teach you about how selfish we are when you have kids, and life is all about, just like your mom raised you, your father raised you, and they were patient with you and so on. Well, when you have kids, it's your turn to learn what that patience is like. It's just that we don't want to, you know, pay the favor back, so to speak. That's the problem. So yeah. So that's what abortion is for. If the contraceptives don't work, guess what? You can always kill the child. Again, you're denying the responsibility. You want to keep being selfish. You don't want to face up to you don't want to be held accountable for your actions. That's what's happening there. And then guess what happened after that? After that, you got the sexual revolution. Right after that, right after the abortion laws, you get the sexual revolution. And they tell them, oh, go out there and all of that. Why? Because you've got the pill now. You've got the abortion now. You can carry on and do whatever you want to do now. You can be as promiscuous as you want. You won't have to face up to the responsibility of your actions. You can just enjoy the pleasure side of it. And that's all that happened. That's what happened. And then the government knew that not every single person was going to take the pill. Not every single person was going to, because it was early days. People still had that the society was still had that Christian moral fabric to it. So it was early days. So guess what? They normalized the culture. They normalized the culture. They normalized this, this hookup culture. This idea that you can just have sex. And then after that, because the government realized, like, oh yeah, not everyone's going to take the pill. Not everyone's going to, abort their children. So guess what we're going to do for them? And this is how they created single mothers, single mother households. We're going to house them. We're going to give them a house. We're going to pay. We're going to pay for it. And that's how single mothers were created, guys. The Broad one says, growing up with a younger generation around you means you have some experience having to watch over a kid, but it's different. Given responsibility by elders, by OGs. Yes. It's different though, bro. It's different when you have your own child. I know what you're saying. That's actually yeah, it does give you experience when you grow up with young people and so on, and you're responsible for them and all of that. But it's different when it's your child. It's different when when you have to watch that child 24/7 and you can't leave it for someone else, you can't abandon your responsibilities, you know children are 24/7 non-stop, non-stop, you know and that's what really teaches people how to not be unselfish. Being a parent is being a parent. It's like you're being taught to not be selfish, which is a good thing, and that's how we become better contributors to society, when we are less selfish. We become less narcissistic. That's all it is, seriously. But this is how single mothers were created. When the government decided to say, hey, even if you get pregnant, even if you decide to have the kid, guess what? We'll give you a house. We'll pay for it. That's what happened. This is how we got the single mother culture that we currently have right now. And like I said before, imagine if the government just stopped it. Believe you me, women will change tomorrow. It's not going to stop, though. It's not going to stop. Make no mistake. The government isn't going to stop. The government put these things in place. They legalized these things for a reason. They didn't do it for no reason. Trust me. I know they gave you guys, they gave the public some bullshit reason, but they did it for a reason. They've got their own reason as to why they legalize abortion, the pill, the normalize the hookup culture, and yeah, why they started housing women that have babies outside of wedlock. But if the government wants to stop all of that, believe you me, women will change overnight. They would be like, "Ooh, I have to be careful now. I have to be careful about who. I have to be careful with who I sleep with, because if I get pregnant, how am I going to take care of myself and the baby? Who's going to give me a house? Who's going to give? Who's going to pay? Who's going to give me benefits? Who's going to pay for me? How am I going to be safe? How is the baby going to be safe?" She would have to think about all of that. So she would be extremely selective when it came to engaging in sexual activity and and yeah, engaging in sexual activity. She would be extremely selective. Uh, my bro G1 said, the bro G1 says, modern women don't want to be mothers because they're so selfish as they are not willing to sacrifice. That's it. But they are not willing to sacrifice. Why? Why? Because the government put these laws in place, and that I'm not saying that that's the only reason. That's one of the main reasons, because it's not just the government's fault. They are still selfish for engaging in what the government put in place. But one of the main reasons is because the government legalized all of these things that took the responsibility and the accountability away from how women behave. The Broad says, at least our Gaddafi promoted families by giving them houses and money. Yeah, yeah. I would, giving houses and money, I would give it to those who they got married, they're serious about raising. Yeah, I would help those people as well. Yeah, because that would get people thinking, I want to raise a family. I want to, uh the brothers, Gaddafi had flaws. We all got flaws, bro. None of us is perfect. And achievements, exactly. The brother says, oh, Iraqi society promoted families, even though there was civil war and poverty fighting. There you go. Here in the West, we have peace. We can do whatever we want to do. And look what's being promoted. A death cult. Because this is what we have. We have a culture of death. Our culture promotes death. A lot of people talk about movies or talk about music. It's much more deeper than that. It's much more serious than that. Our culture promotes murdering babies. That's what our culture promotes. That's what the Western culture promotes. You know, it promotes being selfish, narcissistic, sociopathic. That's what it promotes. Why? Because it takes the consequence away from our actions. Imagine being able to do whatever you want to do and not ever having to face the consequences of your actions. Imagine that. Imagine how narcissistic, how sociopathic you would become as a person. If I, as the government, had that power to say to you, listen, you can do whatever you want to do, you know. You will not have to face the consequences of your actions. Imagine the level of fuckery. Imagine how much it would change you psychologically. Now, is it all the government's fault? No. You should know better. You should not engage. You should not engage with what the government is telling you can do. You should not do that. But what happens to people is they get tempted, they fall into temptation, and then in the end, abortion starts looking like an option. You know, this world tells you to go out there, be promiscuous, you know, even though you know it's wrong. You say to yourself, nah, I'm not going to do that. But the government, society consistently promoting, eventually you slip and you go out there and you start living a promiscuous lifestyle. Guess what? Even though you don't agree with abortion, you get a girl pregnant, you know she's not the mother. She's not going to be a good mother. You know all of that. So guess what? Abortion starts looking like a serious option, like a real option, and this is how they get you. This is how they get you. That's what happens. You know, so we are to blame just as much as the government is to blame for putting these laws in place. We are also to blame. We have free will. Last time I checked, we have free will. So if we are, you know, engaging in this, it's our fault as well. The Broward one says Rishi Sinok says he's Hindu in this faith, but doesn't promote family, and his family has a racist past. Wow. Wow. Is that the prime minister? Wow. Bro, I'm telling you. And this is why we have a single mother epidemic. This is why we have a single mother epidemic. Man. This is why so many children's lives are being destroyed. This is why the birth rate has declined. This is why the nuclear family is being systematically destroyed. This is why marriages are declining. This is why we are seeing less and less families. It's because of that. Because the government told women they can do whatever they want. And the only solution to all these issues, to all these problems, is, again, I keep saying it, because the government isn't going to stop this. So we have to find a way of stopping ourselves from engaging with this culture. We have to stop engaging with this culture. And how do we stop engaging with this culture? We have to be able to say no. First, we have to realize that it's wrong. Then we have to say no. You know, and how do you do that? You do that by growing a moral conscience. That's it. You have to raise your moral standards, guys. Because the government isn't going to make abortion illegal tomorrow. They're not going to do any of that. That's not going to happen ever, because their plan is to destroy the family, the nuclear family. That's the plan. And they want to destroy the nuclear family so they can introduce alternative family structures. And I think we know what other alternative family structures are all about. I think we all know what they are without saying too many, you know, without saying too many letters. You get my drift. This is why the birth rate has declined. We're not creating nuclear families. This is the issue. So, yes, can the government stop this single mother culture? Absolutely. All they need to do is stop housing these women that get pregnant, is make abortion illegal, is, you know, make contraception illegal. If they do all of that, women will change overnight. It will be over. I'm telling you, it will be over. But they're not going to do that, guys. This is why we have to develop the moral conscience in order to fight the temptations of this world. Because they are tempting you and they are giving you ways of you know, avoiding the consequences of that temptation. That's what they're doing. And if you keep, and the only way to not engage with this culture, the only way to not engage with this culture, because trust me, you won't have the strength to fight against it if you don't develop a moral conscience. You will not have the strength to fight against the temptation that the West, that the Western world promotes. If you don't develop the moral conscience, you will fall victim to the system. My bro, the bro, G1 soldier. If the government tries so too much to destroy population, I will be gone. After taking a stand, bro, I'm telling you, it's not that the government's trying to destroy population. What they're trying to destroy is the nuclear family, and the end goal is to really farm people. They want to create a nation that believes in what they believe in. What better way to control people than to get them to agree with what you agree with, to believe in what you believe in? You know, what better way to control people than that? If I can get people that disagree with me to agree with me, I will have much I would have I'll better control these people than if I, you know, if we were just enemies. If you really want to control people, you have to get them on your side. That's how you control people. That's the real level of control. That's next level. If I can get my enemies to agree with me and to follow me, oh, I'm telling you, bro, it's over. It is over. It's absolutely over. So yeah. Now we can end the single mother culture, but we're not gonna. The government isn't going to help us do that, guys. So what we need to do is we need to make sure we don't engage with this promiscuous culture, and the only way of making sure that we don't engage with this promiscuous culture is by developing a moral conscience and understanding that what they are promoting is wrong, and you don't want to participate in it. And it's not just about not participating in it, it's also about speaking out against it, and speaking actively against it, and demonstrating how evil it is, and you know, how evil it is, and why it's not going to be good for us in the long run. Uh, the Broward one says, so they want me to be anti books and facts. Yes, they do. They do. They want you to follow what they believe should be factual. That's what they really want you to do. They want you to convert to them and believe in what they believe in. The Bro John also says a number of people might leave Western world if pushed too far. Yeah, but the thing is, you can leave the Western world. The other countries are only a couple of years behind. I mean, feminism is a global agenda. The stuff that the Western world is promoting, it's for the entire world. This agenda is for the rest of the world. It's not just for the Western world. The Western world is just where it started, but it's a global agenda. And the idea behind it is to destroy the family. The idea behind it is to create a population that agrees with everything that they promote. You know? And if you want to know what they promote, well, look what they've legalized. It's not that hard to see. Like, they're not hiding it. Look what they've legalized. How is it that if someone legalizes the murder of children, how is it that you don't know what they're doing? How can you ask, oh, well, what is the government up to? They just legalized the murder of children. How, if that doesn't tell you what they're up to, I don't know what will. They're literally telling you gender is a social construct. There are, how many genders are there? There's only 2 genders, but how many genders is there today? That's literally telling you what they are up to. They're literally telling you. The bro just says, I would keep it out like minister general, but not persecution. 2. There are 2 genders, guys. But how many genders are they telling you that there are? It's an infinite number. There's no ending to the genders these days. That's them telling you. That's the government telling you what they're up to. Guys, don't fall for it, man. Don't fall. The government is literally telling you everything that they're up to. They told you that they're here to murder children. They are doing it. They told you that there's no longer men and women. Like there's no longer 2 genders. There's more genders. That means they want to destroy masculinity and femininity. They want to destroy men and women. They're literally telling you what they're up to. Mortal can't be infinite. Yeah, true. You know, they're telling you what they're up to. They're telling you what they're doing. Look at the stuff that they allow society to engage in. You know, all this promiscuous behavior that you see around. They're telling you what they're up to. Well, you think they didn't know that the pill, the legalization of abortion, the sexual revolution, the hookup culture would the housing women that have had babies out of wedlock, funding them. You think they didn't know this would create the single mother culture and would create the a problem like knife crime? You think they didn't know that? Of course they knew that. These people think generations ahead. Of course they knew all of that. It's easy to stop the single mother culture legally. It's easy. Women will change overnight. It's easy, guys. It's easy to stop it. If we really want to stop it, we can stop it. But it's going to be a bit more difficult without the government's help. Put it that way. It's going to be way more difficult without the government's help. But we still need to do it. We still need to end it if we want a better future, right? The Broadman says the Taliban used to have a lot of persecution style, but still very harsh as they are a terrorist group. Yep. So yeah, guys. Listen, guys, man, this was a short one. All right. I'm gonna be back tomorrow with a new topic. I'm gonna give you guys what do you call it? Uh like more time and all of that. I know I just jumped on live quickly and so on and so forth. But I'm gonna give you guys more notice. So my bad for that. The bro, you want my bro, the bro, you want always in here. They no longer publicly execute. Really? The Taliban no longer publicly executes? I do not support terrorism. you know, terrorism is just evil. But I would argue what the West is doing to its own population is terrorism. It literally is terrorism. Encouraging their population to murder their own children, creating the single mother homes that's destroying children. That's terrorism. That is terrorism. What the West is doing to its own people is terrorism. But yeah, guys, listen, nothing but love. The bro, G1, thanks for joining me, bro. That's love every time, all the time, bro. I appreciate you. I'm back tomorrow with a new topic. I'm going to give you guys plenty of notice. So, there's no, my bad for today. Western world persecute people. Yes, they do. They do. They persecute people, the Western world. Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys. The bro G1. Peace, bro. Yeah. I'll see you tomorrow, family. Yeah. Appreciate that. If you can make it, that would be great, bro. Love.